everyone, welcome back to Inside the Ropes and a very happy Miro Day to all of you. We were wondering who was best to interview on Miro Day, and luckily I think we found the best man for the job. It's AEW star Miro. How are you today?
Wow, that was probably the greatest introduction I've ever had. You plugged in every single thing that I do, which is very admirable for you, man. Thank you very much for doing that lovely entrance.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. This is where it all goes downhill when we start asking the questions now then. But I guess we'll get into it and see how upset I can make you. Hopefully not too much. First things first, my favourite thing about Miro and AEW is, for me, you're a blank canvas. You know, you've been in, or before now, you were in the same place for 10 years. You've never been on television in a wrestling format otherwise. How are you fitting in so far? How do you feel like Miro has fitted into AEW?
I had the first few months. It's just been such a fresh air, you know, just to be able to perform and experiment if you must, or just go out there and just do you, man, at the end of the day. And it's been a great opportunity to do that because everything is up to us. You know, it's not, nobody's writing your stuff per se. Nobody's like pushing you in a certain directions. It's all about what you want and how creative you are and the collaboration that you can make with Kip or with Tony Khan or any of these things. And it's been working so good, man. I'm just loving my time there.
Yeah, excellent. And I want to ask you about that debut in particular, because for me, so I'm someone that personally has very low expectations, which I think is rare in wrestling. When there was a surprise announced, I was like, well, obviously I really would like it to be Miro, but it's probably not going to be. Then when it was, I was delighted. A lot of people, you know, wrestling fans can be a little bit always left wanting more kind of people where they're like, well, this was annoying, that was annoying. A lot of people wanted you to come in as a big destroyer, go through everyone, you know. They were annoyed that you wore your Mickey Mouse Gucci clothing. They were annoyed at this, annoyed at that. Looking back, are you happy with how you debuted?
Unless, if I could have found the pink Mickey Mouse shirt, I would probably wear that. That's why I'm not happy. If I could have found the pink Mickey Mouse shirt, I would have gone out with that. Because I don't care what you think about my clothing. I don't care what you think about my gimmick. I don't care about what you think about any of these things, because quite honestly, I don't care. I am the best man. You gotta understand that. I've been pushed down for way too long that all of a sudden to me to start listening to fans, or to not even fans, because those are not fans. Those are just critics. Because fans just enjoy what you're giving them to them. But critics is a completely different thing. And I think what we have done, and it's just not the wrestling fault, but it's just as a society, we want a quick turnaround right away, right then and there. We don't like waiting for episode to come week to week. We don't want to wait the 30 minutes. We don't want to ad for the ads. We don't want to wait for 30-second ads, because we just want the final product right then and there. But if I come to AEW and become champion in day one, then it was going to be 90 other million people. They're going to be like, oh, well, look at this. He's another former WWE guy just coming and taking the title. And look, we have Hangman Page and the Bucks, and everybody else is just waiting for the opportunity. So you have that. So you can never, if you go by making fans happy, that's just impossible. That's why I'm going to do me, because I know how to do me better than anybody else.
Yeah, and I don't think you need a title, because you've got the best title there is. You've got your television title, which is a monitor rather than an actual belt. So who needs a title anyway?
But I have it somewhere here. I think it's put away, but I do have my TV championship here.
Yeah, so, well, that's like one of my things that, you know, for anyone who's watched your interviews, watched you on Twitch, they know that on AEW, you're just being you, and that's, I think, the best thing right now. Of course, another reason you are being you is because you're not Rusev, you're Miro. I need to ask, was there ever any consideration of you changing your name before going back into wrestling? Were you ever thinking, oh, I don't want to be Miro, I would rather have a character, or was it just never a consideration?
No, but the only thing when I was joking, even when I was in WWE, I was like, oh, when I leave here, I'm going to be Rusev with double F. But then I thought, this is just so petty because this is not me. And I really wanted to be me because I believe we perform best when we feel most comfortable. And I just feel more comfortable just being myself. I can play any role, don't get me wrong, but I feel like as human beings, we're not waking up every day being bad. We don't just, go to the store thinking I'm going to look mean and I'm going to be bad. We don't do that. So I came in, then I had nothing but good intentions. I was a nice guy, as you said. I had my Mickey Mouse shirt. I just wanted to have fun, man. Because after so long at one place, I just wanted to go out there and live for the moment. And the next thing Kip is there. I give him it's a wedding present. I give him this arcade. I don't know if you've seen that, but I give him this arcade. And I love video games because I grew up a video game fan. And I learned a lot from video games just for life's sake, not just for anything else. Like I was talking to that story the other day. Like maybe you remember, I don't know how old you are, but when you were a kid growing up and you had Genesis, Sega, or Nintendo, you couldn't save these games. So whatever on one sitting, you better beat this game because you can't save anything. So that teaches you as a kid all these difficulties that you might meet. You just have to push through them. You got to learn how to be better. Instead now, I'm not saying the games are easy now, but all these games you save and you come back and you get another try and another try and another try. What back in the day was not like this, man. And I feel like I learned hustling and not giving up since I was a kid from video games as well. So there we are. We have this cabinet far away from the ring, far away from the ring. So I've been wrestling for quite a few years now. And I decided, there's the ring. There's the area outside the ring. You can fight, fine. Then you have a barricade. Then you have 20 people, watching around the ring. And then you have another 15 yards. And then it's the arcade. The next thing you know, they go and break my shit. Now, I may be a nice guy, but once you damage on purpose a personal property, and not just a personal property, it's a gift. It's a gift for the man's first wedding. He's in love, man. And you're gonna break that? Well, that's not gonna go unnoticed or unpunished. And it's very unfortunate they had to come down to this way. But like I said, we don't just wake up mad all the time. I was a nice, happy guy, but this guy definitely was the straw that broke the camel's back.
People will definitely see a meaner Miro in AEW going forward then, and you will be taking that anger out on some people. I mentioned, the way you're fitting into AEW. Obviously, there's a few familiar faces there, but there's a lot of new faces as well, a very different kind of place to where you've been before. What's been the biggest difference for you?
What has been the what?
The biggest difference between where you were before, where you are now. Yeah.
The biggest difference, as I said, the creative freedom. The freedom is different. It's there, but also the talent that we have in AEW is just unmatched. The styles that we have in AEW is unmatched. We have styles from all over the world. We don't have one particular style. We don't have one formula. We have every individual bringing their style of fighting, of performing, of wrestling. And we put that in AEW and we create the greatest professional wrestling show on the earth.
Yeah, and I know you've spoken before. I know you love gaming. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. I want right now you to put your gaming hat on because I know you're a big Champ Manager fan. So
yes.
In Champ Manager, I think the best thing you can do is pluck someone from obscurity and they become the best in the world. In AEW, who is the diamond in the rough? Who's the person that everyone should know about that they don't quite yet know about?
Wow. So the other good thing about AEW, we give opportunities to everybody. It's not, you don't see the same people on TV every week. You see, one day you see Dr. Luther, main event in the show. The next week you see the whole bunch of different guys, and you never see this in other promotions because we give opportunities to everybody to shine. But who is the one man that is diamond in the rough, man? That's really hard to say because there's just too many. But we all know how good Ricky Starks is. We all know how good Kip Sabian is. We all know how good clearly Hangman. Hangman is a fantastic guy. I've never worked with him, just watching him. Um, but even people maybe forgot how good they are, like Colt Cabana. He's so good, man. He's been himself for so many years, and maybe people don't notice that, but he's so good at what he does. And Matt Sydal, Serena Deep, like who else? I said Ricky Stars. There's so many, like the Bucks, or so many talented people under one roof, and everybody wants to do great that night. We don't save anything. We don't say, hey, let's save it for the pay-per-view. Oh no, let's save it for this big. No, man. It's all right then and there. You give it all that night. And I think that's what makes everybody so special.
There's no diamonds in the rough. Everyone is a Galactico. Everyone's part of the Real Madrid team in AEW. So there's, a little bit of speculation out there. It's kind of died down a little bit now, but I feel like I should still ask. You were recently a free agent. You landed in AEW. One man, there's been a lot of rumors that they are a free agent, and no one quite knows, is Brock Lesnar. Would you like to see Brock Lesnar in AEW?
I mean, Brock is great. Brock, wherever he goes, he's an entity, right? He's the show himself. He can be his own show himself. But I think, would we benefit from it? I absolutely think we will. Do we need him? Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's definitely a great answer. And another kind of outside of AEW thing, before we go back to AEW, you've been getting the blame of something recently that I don't quite know why you've been getting the blame of it. So I want to ask you about it. Your wife has made acquaintance with a certain announce table several weeks in a row. Everyone's saying it's because Rusev left. It's because Miro's in AEW. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't book their shows. I have no idea. All I know is that she's most likely tougher than anybody else on their roster, because clearly that's the first time in history that's been done. And every single time she gets the fuck up and keeps going. She doesn't say no. She doesn't say, I don't want to do that. She doesn't sell. She's going out there and doing her job, and doing her job to perfection. Because you can see in that ring, when she gets that time, you can see who's who and who's been working and who's been sitting on their asses the whole time. And I'm so freaking proud of CJ, man, because she's proven that she's most likely the most talented and underrated person in the whole entire wrestling community.
Yeah, we got to see a little bit of that last week in a match against Asuka, which I hope we get to see again. But we'll go back onto AEW. A couple of AEW questions and then a little fun one to end with. So Chris Jericho is a man I recently spoke to, and he said he's having the most fun of his life. What do you think of what Chris Jericho is doing in AEW right now?
I think he's having the most fun of his life. I mean, you can just tell, man. And just being around him, you can just see that this is it for him. Like, he's not thinking of going anywhere else. He's not thinking about anything else. He's just 1,000% dedicated to AEW. He's giving it all out there, but he's not saving it all for himself. If you notice, the people that he's been working, he's been wrestling against, he had angles. It's all people that he's trying to bring up. He's not trying to bury people per se, or he's trying to bring talent that people haven't heard of, bring it up, let them see what they have, and go from there. And I feel like this is very, you don't see that in veterans. They do that all the time. But Chris is, the more you think, it's got to be one of the greatest of all time, just by the time he's put in, the stuff that he's done, and he keeps doing, innovating the game every day. I think Chris is definitely one of my top GOATs of all time.
Definitely. Hard to disagree there. So before we move on to the last question, this one will lead in nicely to it. You, before you joined AEW, you had said that you were going to become a professional gamer, and that would be just what you'd be. I mean, you are a professional gamer, so you were right, but it was almost a big loss to wrestling because we thought you might never step in a ring again. Was that a serious consideration? Did you ever think, I might just not wrestle again, I might just game, and if I don't step in a ring again, that's that?
No, wrestling is my love, man. I love wrestling. And ever since I got released, I fell back in love with wrestling. It's just, wrestling, it can be so different. It can be so diverse. It can be so many different things. But I think what we're trying to do with what I was before was the same old, and I was so tired of it. I was so tired of busting my ass, hitting a certain wall, and going right back down. And I didn't want to do that anymore. And I was really I wasn't sour towards the business. I was just like, maybe I was hurt by a lot of it. But seeing how AEW, because as you said before, I haven't worked in any other company. I did Knox Pro when I learned how to wrestle with Rikishi and Gangrel and Reno and Y. But besides that, I haven't seen any much wrestling. So I had this tunnel vision that I thought everything outside of it was wrong. But I was the one wrong the whole time. It's because wrestling is so much more fun, man. Wrestling is it's freedom. And that's the thing that people don't understand, that wrestling could be so much freedom. And having that, going to work every single day, happy. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I know I'm going to be there and it's going to be up to me. It's not going to be a man that's going to write me a 4-page promo that's going to change 6 times in the next 5 minutes. It's not like 7 producers telling me how to bump and then I can go over the top rope, or I can put my fists up, or I can look at the people, or I can do that. None of that. It's the freedom, man. And that's what all the wrestlers wants to go to AEW, is because it's the freedom of you to perform. It's like if you're a poet and you have 4 words to create a poem, go. Can you create as best poem as you can if you have all the words? No. And that's what I'm saying. Why would you want to shortchange your product? Why would you want not to do good? And I could not personally deal with that. So for me, the best thing was to leave.
Yeah, most definitely. And last question. Everyone always throws in a question like, who's your dream opponent? You know, stuff like that. What I want to do is I want to give you a few names. I know you love gaming. I know you love wrestling. And we see a lot of film adaptations of games these days. I want to say a name of a game character and you to tell me which wrestler could play them in a film or who is most like exciting. This person. I've only got a few names here, but let's see how it goes. The first one, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, man. So, I just played Sonic the Hedgehog 2 the other day on my stream. And I lost to the last boss, which was really upsetting. But who would Sonic the Hedgehog be? Fast, agile, red boots, blue. Man, who could have suited the most? But at the same time, he's like a funny, lovable guy. Gosh, this is not that easy.
I think the other ones are a bit easier. I maybe started with the wrong person.
Maybe you start with the blue guy, and that kind of throws me off.
Yeah. We can look back to Sonic. You can think about that.
Okay, we'll look back. Let's go to the next one.
Ryu from Street Fighter.
Oh, Ryu, Street Fighter, boy. We're thinking about discipline. We're thinking about martial arts. We're thinking about all good is good. That's got to be probably John Cena, if he's anybody else.
Most definitely.
But right, he's the good guy of everybody. He's the good guy of good guys. And you think Guile, but Guile is not him. Guile is Cody. Cody's Guile.
I love that, actually. That's a great comparison. Next one is Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider, man. I love that character. I've played so many games, the Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. And you would think looking at anybody but Angelina Jolie, it's kind of like, ooh, really? But then I would give it, I think my wife could be great, Lara Croft, because I've seen her wearing like a Halloween costume and she looks really good in it. But also she's flexible. She's doing all these movies with shooting, and she does do all these like crazy roles and stuff like that. I think she can do a great job at it.
Yeah. And Kratos from God of War.
Ooh, man. That's a great character. Just from look-wise, you think right away of one man that he kind of wanted to look like him.
Yeah. I think everyone might know who you're talking about there. I don't think you even need to say the name.
But in real life, who could be him? With that hair, strong, relentless. I don't know. I think I can pull out a good God of War.
Yeah.
I think if I shave, all I gotta do is just shave my head and I'm there. I got the boy, come here, boy. I can do
brilliant.
that.
Yep, and then last one before we circle back to Sonic, Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
Oh man, Sub-Zero. So very quick story. I just went and shot a video. It's a great project for TNT and AEW. And I shot it with Director X, who is like one of the most famous directors.
Yeah.
And we went into this arcade store, Coin and Kegs. The owner, it's like a mom and pop shop. The owner claims, which I'm going to put him to the test in a couple of weeks, he dresses as Sub-Zero and plays people in Mortal Kombat 2. And if you beat him, you win certain award. So I'm going to put this to a test in a couple of weeks. But until then, I would give Sub-Zero. He's got the slide, he's got the freeze, he's got the jumping kicks. Who does a good slide? I'm trying to think of who does a good baseball slide. Good slide. Somebody with a good slide attack. I think I like Ben. I like Neville for it.
Oh,
Neville can put all these crazy maneuvers. He does I've seen him break his leg on a baseball slide, so I know he's not going to do that again. I'm pretty sure he mastered that. But unfortunately, Ben is in your country somewhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll come back soon and I get to beat him up because he tore my bicep. So I have a personal agenda against him.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm calling him out. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's going on the internet, so hopefully it does end up with that dream match. And yeah, we'll circle back. Sonic the Hedgehog, have we got any answer?
Sonic the Hedgehog. He's got to have a good tag team partner. He's got to have a good Tails with him, you know? So who's got a good tag team partner? Who's got a good tag team partner? Well,
Kip Sabian's got a good tag team partner.
I can give it a Kip. I can give it a Kip, but I don't know. I can be, in this case, I can be Knuckles.
Yeah.
If he's going to be Sonic, I'm not going to be Tails. I'm going to be Knuckles because Knuckles is a badass.
Yeah, most definitely. Absolutely brilliant.
And then the Butcher is going to be the bad guy.
Oh yeah, the Butcher would be an amazing Robotnik. He would be better than Jim Carrey. We don't need Jim Carrey anymore. Get the Butcher in there.
He's already got the mustache. He's jacked. He's big. He's got a metal band. Did you know that? He's
Every Time I Die. Yeah.
Every Time I Die. I listened to his album the other day, and it was really good, man. I really love that stuff. And that's what I'm talking about. Being multi-talented. Yeah. This is what we're missing in our business. Is the multi-talented. Like he's a multi-talented guy. Kip is I'm a multi-talented guy. When you see John Moxley, he's a dinosaur. And I'm here to take out the dinosaurs, man, because you can't be just good at one thing now. Now it's 2020. You got to be good at a lot of things. And if you're just good in freaking professional wrestling, then I'm going to come and take you out when the time is right.
Most definitely. Thank you so much, Miro. I'm going to let you go and beat the Butcher or Robotnik since you never got to the other day, because I know that we're keeping you from some gaming. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait to see what you do in AEW.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. Thank you to everybody to Inside the Ropes. I know I've been listening and hearing about it all the time, and I know you guys are really popular, really good. So thank you for your honesty. Thank you for reporting the right stuff. Thank you for not going out there making up stuff. I appreciate y'all, and I'm pretty sure we're going to do this once we win some gold.